If you have a fear of writing because you don't think that you're going to be able to do it well, then I want to share a really simple technique that is going to help you transform those doubts and those fears. It might be that you have been trying to get a book out of you for years, or that you wish that you were able to maintain a consistent blog. Whatever way you are trying to express yourself, all of the videos on this channel are designed to really help you express yourself exactly the way that you want. Make an impact with your words and also make an income with your words. So if you like the sound of that and you haven't yet subscribed, then you might want to think about doing that. So today I want to start working through that place of the fear that you're not going to be able to do it well or not going to be able to do it well enough, really how we can transform in that place. I would probably work with a client very specifically depending on what it was they were trying to create or what that fear was based on. But this simple technique is one that I can use with really anyone, and it does have a really nice result. So I'm going to take you through it. So it's about creating a trajectory, okay? So I want for you to understand that somewhere back in your past, there was a moment when you didn't do things that well. And what's happening is if that's really affecting you in the present and it's also affecting the way that you see the future, you've basically drawn a line from that moment in the past and you're feeding it right through into your future. So maybe at some point someone said to you that you hadn't done it that well. And so right now in this present moment, you're still carrying the echo of that experience. You're still feeling that you're not really doing things that well. And you're looking into the future and imagining that whatever you do, you're still not going to be able to do it that well. So no wonder you're not writing, no wonder you're not getting that book out, or no wonder you're not being consistent with your blog, because the future looks pretty bleak. The future looks, well, slightly pointless because you're not going to be able to do it that well. So once we start to transform that initial experience, we really reset the future because we create an entirely different trajectory. So that's what we want to do today. We want to loosen things up. So the less fixed we are at that point in the past, the more flexible we can be about where we are in the present moment and also where we want to head to. So the first thing to do is to start to inquire. Start to inquire whether this "I'm not going to be able to do it well" comes from. So it might be that you get a sense of a certain teacher or a certain experience in your life where there was that indication. But again, we want to start to get flexible with that interpretation. So we want to really inquire to whom, to whom, whose opinion are we allowing to influence us? Who was it that said that we didn't do it that well? Who was it that said that we weren't good enough? And why is it that we are continuing to carry that opinion with us in our present day? So we acknowledge that yes, back then as a child, it did really affect us, but also here as an adult, we can start to make those choices for ourselves. So, to whom did our work not appear up to scratch? And really, what if we were to really claim that perspective? What if we were to say, I'm going to see my work the way that I want to see it? So when we start to loosen in that interpretation, it means that we can start to look back on the past in a slightly different way, and we'll see ourselves slightly differently. So for example, it might be that you start to look at yourself in the past and you might think, actually, I had a really good work ethic. Like I was putting those hours in, I was actually studying. So despite this supposed opinion that I hadn't done something well, I actually did put the hours in. And so then we can start to flip it. We focus on, oh, actually back then I was quite a good studier, or I was quite disciplined, like I put the hours in. And that then becomes the point that we create that trajectory from. So we're no longer here with I didn't do it well enough. We're now over here with actually I had a really good work ethic when I was younger. And so we take that point and we draw a line and we end up in a totally different place. So here in the present moment, rather than dwelling on the fact that we might not do something well, we're dwelling on the fact that we do have an ability to be disciplined. We do have an ability to see a project through. And so we're shifting that focus. It means that we can can start to let go of that opinion. And when we show our mind that we're letting go of that opinion, we're showing our mind that we no longer need to be afraid of it anymore. We no longer need to be afraid of doing something well. What we can be more focused on is the trust that we put the hours in, that we do have that work ethic. So here we create a new trajectory, and we therefore create a new future. And with that new future, we're suddenly inspired. We think, with this new future, I really do want to have a consistent blog. Or with this new future, I really do want to get that book out there, because I know I'm going to be able to put the hours in. I know I'm going to be able to see that project through. So really simple technique to start to shift that trajectory. We first look at that point in the past that we're dragging into the present, and we're making the future defined by that point. And then we start to see it differently. We start to ask ourselves different questions so that we get a different perspective, and therefore we create a really different trajectory. So I hope that technique was useful for you guys today. If you found it useful and you want more advice, you want more techniques, and you're on Facebook, then come over to Facebook and join the community there. You'll find a link below. I'm live every week, and I'm there to answer your questions if you've got any. So find me, and we would love to have you in the community. Come join us over on Facebook. Otherwise, I will see you here on YouTube with more videos next week. Take care until then.